Welcome to Responsive Portfolio Landing Page Website Portfolio section. Our website looks good so far, but now we need to add our very own projects that we worked on, so that we can show off what we can actually do. Notice how image overlay has animation of project name, icon, and project type. In the first video of this playlist, the animation for the figure caption overlay is different because it was made in the past, and we are not old school anymore. This also looks way pretty, but if you still want the old animation, I have already made a video about it that you can see, and I will share the link in the description. Although the animation of images displaying with shrinking and expanding animation after each click on the project type name button is same. By the way, we don't want single images to be left in the last line all alone, so we will deal with it. Now for small screen, we will display one button and one image at a time. We have also put content in the center of the mobile screen. As you probably noticed, images are very random, but you should put images concerning your own projects. Also images concerning the correct project type. I hope you notice the button animations. After all, they are quite beautiful in my eyes. To summarize, the goal and objective of this portfolio section image gallery is that we have this image gallery where on hover, it displays project name, type, and link that is supposed to take us to our work or website we made. We also have different buttons related to the type of projects we have worked on to categorize our work. This will help your portfolio viewer to seek out your projects and be impressed in a skill they are looking to hire you for. Each of the image is like a thumbnail displaying a summarized image of your work. For tablet screen size too, we have some nice structure of web page that looks professional. Notice the few changes that I made to ensure no button is alone on the separate line in tablet and laptop screen sizes, but in mobile screen, it's one button and one line. That was not the case in the past, but now we are mature and professional, so we will behave a bit. We will make images either less or add more for each project type to cater to the idea of no one left behind, alone in the line. I just love the animation of overlay on image, and also hover and click animation on button. It's simple, but simplicity is sometimes the best policy. I guess we are done showing off, so let's hunt down the channel intro. So this is the video I was talking about, with slightly different animation, but still doing the same thing. Since we already worked on it, I decided to change things a little bit and modernize things. I also cleaned up a lot of code that we will see today. Now let's open up our web page. If you wish to see the rest of the work we have done on this portfolio, feel free to go to the playlist linked in the description. So we have like 15 images inside portfolio folder. That is inside images folder. And these are 15 images you just saw that we will be using today. And obviously, we have our CSS and JavaScript files linked to HTML file. Now, we open up our website inside Visual Studio Code. Setting up the width of the web page, and we are good to go. So we want to do portfolio section to be right after skill section, so it feels like you are telling the viewer your skill set and proving them how cool you are with the portfolio right after. Alright, so in HTML, we are going to structure the entire image gallery for portfolio from scratch. Let's add our title for this section as well as cute squares. We should copy-paste them from skill section. Let me just make sure my web browser is updated with title or not. Sometimes it needs to be refreshed to get updated. So first, we will create a container for the filter buttons with row class for styling. Each button represents a project type with data btn attribute associating a number to the button. We are supposed to make sure to place the right number to the right image. But since all the images are random and not project related, we are gonna randomly put numbers. But make sure to put the right project with the right project type number in images. Now comes said images container with the row class. I guess I will show you the row class style when we reach CSS, considering the amount of times we use it. Now, let's dive into the portfolio items themselves. Each item is wrapped in a figure element with the class M. Inside each figure, we have an anchor tag wrapping an image element and a fig caption element containing additional information about the project. The fig caption includes another anchor tag with an icon, a div for the subtitle, and a div for the project name. This structure is repeated for each portfolio item. The icons are font awesome. Here, we are also using icon class that I will show you in CSS. Also the subtitle class. Basically, all reusable classes used today will be shown in CSS, so you guys don't have to go to first videos to see them. But I will appreciate it if you do watch them as well. I have 15 images, so I am copy-pasting this figure element 14 times. Also remember to put right number in data in attribute value to link it to the right button. 1 for web design, 2 for graphic design, 3 for mobile apps, and 4 for photography. Considering a long time it will take to write 15 figure elements, why don't you guys subscribe to my channel? It makes my mom happy and proud of me to see a new sub every time. And her smile is the best thing in the world. Even the fig caption has row class in it. Am I obsessed with it or what? Fun fact, I have made a YouTube short on 3D parallax effect, so be sure to watch it, link on top. After JavaScript we will set up our image gallery to have no singled out image, because then, I will be able to add button to related images and make things look better. Now let's check the code to see if we missed something in HTML or not. So far everything looks good on HTML end, so let's go CSS. Let's start CSS by buttons and its hover styling. Oh wait, I forgot to display the already existing classes we used in HTML. We wrote these in our first video of the playlist, so feel free to check it out. Fun fact, I already have my reusable codes in the description, so you can simply take it from there. Ah, our cute square shapes that I love so much. Feel free to change its top left values to place them according to your liking. We have also used some text defaults today. It's nothing fancy, but still seems like a good try for consistency considering I am using these same text defaults in all the sections. Speaking of text, I have created a nice but awesome 3D text and parallax effect YouTube short that you can check out in the description and icon above. Alright, now let's look at the CSS that styles this portfolio section. We're using a combination of flexbox and grid layout properties to achieve a responsive design. Starting with buttons, we are setting up the buttons a little different for the section that will be used in the next section as well. Our typical buttons were more for form use. By the end of this playlist, I will set up 2 or 3 buttons at most to be used throughout the portfolio website, for the sake of consistency. Here, each button will be taking full width, but that won't be the case for the large screen, so we will change the width and media queries. Otherwise, each button taking full screen width on a laptop will look horrendous. On hover, we are not doing something cool, just a simple background color and color change. As far as button clicked is concerned, that is the class we will add and remove with JavaScript. It's gonna ensure to keep the active button, whose projects are being displayed, have different background and color. Well, this just centers the images within their container. This styles the images with the maximum width, full container width, vertical margin, rounded corners, transition effects, and box shadow. Oh my god, what is that? The space after that one image. What is that? Image expand and image shrink are two classes basically creating an animation of shrinking images away and expanded the images to display them on screen every time a button is clicked to ask for a specific type of projects. Another burden for JavaScript to deal with. For MD, we are setting up a grid layout for media items, centers them, hides overflow, changes cursor to pointer, and positions them relatively. Did you guys notice the weird gap after one image is gone now? Since we use grid in the MD container, we can make images fill the grid area, maintain aspect ratio, and cover their container. This big caption is an overlay with information related to the project that will only display on cover above the image. This grid method is the best to overlay anything over any element. To learn more, please check out my YouTube short about it. Link in description. Ever wondered why I have a light box shadow and not a full black darkness? Well, that's because as much as people like dark box shadows, they are not realistic in real life. It's always the lightest black that makes the element beautiful. The irony of light and dark is so cool. This big caption after adds an overlay effect on big caption with transition and scale effects. I know I am not perfect, so if you can come up with something that can achieve what my code is doing far better than me, please feel free to share it in the comments so I, as well as anyone else that sees your comment, can learn from it. Now comes the hover effects and animations for each big caption element. Time we set up our project information, that is, icon, project name and project type inside the figcation overlay. So we have anchor tag for icon, subtitle, and text class for project name and project type that we will style.
This is where we add hover animations to each of these elements.
So we want each of these elements like icon, project name, and project type to have an animation of appearing from 3 different sides. So we will use 3 different animation and keyframes for each element. For each animation, there will be a different keyframe, obviously. I personally prefer to put keyframes by the end of the style sheet, but for the sake of this video, I am putting keyframes at the end of this portfolio section. Besides, I am too lazy to scroll to the end of the style sheet. I decided to try new background music for this video, but this music doesn't suit here at all. Now, we finally write some keyframes. It's simple yet very elegant animation. Make sure to write the correct animation name with the keyframe. All we are doing is opacity, translate X, and scale. Long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I posted the previous section of this portfolio, but then for some reason, I decided to take a halfway break from this playlist and post in other playlists. I feel like a kid in a school taking lunch break, given the days I didn't post anything in this playlist. I guess I should apologize for the delay. This video is sped up, but the hover animation looks as cool as the demo in the beginning of the video. Let's see how awesome it looks on the big screen. Oops, technical difficulties. Be right back with the media queries. Let's hunt down the moment in viewport width where we knew we messed up. Found the web page width to be 480 pixels, where images decide to kiss and hug each other, and as a self-appointed anti-romantic, I will add margin between them. Now it's less disturbing, but remember, we decided to have buttons not taking up entire width when screen goes bigger, preferably when buttons look too big to traumatize us. For that, let's ensure button width to be no more than 11.2 rem. Looks good. Let's make it better with JavaScript. Let's dive into the JavaScript that makes our portfolio section interactive. Make sure you guys are copy-pasting class names from HTML and CSS so as to not make mistakes. For now, we are calling all the buttons and images that exist in our portfolio section. We will add a click event listener to each button, except the first one, which corresponds to the all filter. When a button is clicked, it triggers the filterImages function. We will create this function soon. This setActive button function is used to update the visual state of the buttons. It removes the btn clicked class from all buttons and adds it to the clicked button, providing a visual indication of the active filter. Remember the btn clicked class we created in CSS? Well, that's what we are adding and removing here. Now, finally, the filterImages function does the heavy lifting. It first calls setActive button to highlight the clicked button. Then, it iterates over all images. Each image's dataset is checked against the clicked button's dataset. If the image type doesn't match the button type, the image is shrunk by adding the imshrink class and removing the imgexpand class. Otherwise, the image is expanded by adding the imgexpand class and removing the imshrink class. By the way, next video will be about education and experience section in this playlist. I will probably post a short after this and then the education and experience section video. Finally, we add a click event listener to the first button, which is the all button. When clicked, it calls setActive button and expands all images by adding the imgexpand class and removing the imshrink class. Time to test the whole thing if it's working perfectly or not. So far the images are not hugging and buttons are working too. This finalization will include checking if everything is working on all screen sizes, but also try our best to have no image alone in the line as much as possible. But obviously not gonna fully succeed on all screen sizes, but I wanna try for fun. We will try for general mobile, tablet, and laptop screen size. But don't sweat it if it doesn't work, considering the number of images are going to be according to the number of projects you guys have worked on. Now, let me change some categories of MD classes, and also data imgattribute value to make said projects into different category than the current one. We can also comment some of these projects. We are doing this to learn how to play with this code, and the best way to understand any code is to have fun changing stuff here and there. I hope you guys noticed, among all these screen sizes, our buttons are not single unless they are in small screen. That's because of the max width we gave to the buttons in media queries. Wow, the fact I have mistakenly named the wrong project group to the wrong image, when their data img attribute value is of photography. Well, this looks to be working enough for me. So if you have been dealing with my dead humor for 20 minutes straight, then